So, we didn't know that this movie was going to have little to no dialogue.
Welcome to the Siren Cut, and we're reviewing Motor City. Um, Very interesting movie. And actually, there's a day we watched it last night, recording today, and like you mentioned, it actually gave you actually a little bit of time to think about it.
Yeah.
Because when we came out of the movie, you had a clearly different opinion than you do now about the movie,
Had to let it sit for a bit, for
right?
sure.
Little stew.
Yeah, I had no idea that this movie was no dialogue, mostly music. Actually, all music. Kind of gave that old time feel like they used to have in the movies where they had black and white, and then they had the orchestra playing in the back, and then
Right.
you had to kind of pay attention to all the action and what's going on in order for it to tell a story. But I thought that because the story is pretty simple and it had clarity in the story, which was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
There was it was interesting.
It reminded me a lot of if you've seen the movie Sucker Punch in the beginning, where they show Baby Doll's backstory of how she got to the asylum. That whole scene is played out with the stepfather, and when she pulls the gun on him, it's all action, and there's just music playing. And so it reminded me actually a little bit of that. Not exactly, but like just that general premise. But this was basically the entire movie shot that way, and it was interesting. I think I went from wanting to walk out to actually enjoying the movie quite a bit. It worked really well, and I kind of feel when we were talking about this before recording a bit that if this had been a normal movie and recorded in a normal dialogue, normal story, it actually I think would have just fallen under the generic action film. You know, I think the way they did it, focus on the actions and the mannerisms and the sound design actually helps the movie stand out apart from a lot of the common generic cheap low budget action films.
I counted. There were 7 lines.
7 lines in
Seven
the entire
lines
movie.
through the whole movie, and those lines were actually very necessary, and it gave emphasis on what was going on. And so I thought that was pretty smart, and I liked some of the soundtrack. It was pretty good.
So Jack White, who has a cameo in the film as a piano player, piano player, he I guess was responsible for the soundtrack, curating which tracks and stuff like that. So, and he wrote a track specifically for the movie, and it's pretty good. Being our age group and the way I grew up, I knew every song on there, and
I did
a lot of
too.
good songs. But it did a good job. The last time I saw a movie hit their musical kind of matching the film was, and I haven't seen every film, so if I missed something, forgive me, but Baby Driver. Baby Driver, the music that he listens to is a very big part of the film. It actually dictates the beats of the edits and stuff like that.
Okay. I know you were saying something along the lines that there was a lot of Foley artists that had to go into this production.
I read that they were so focused on making sure the sound design was correct. The Foley department was one of the biggest departments they've seen in a lot of movies, even in much bigger movies.
Well, this was everything.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, the sound design, especially if you're not going to have dialogue, things like music and sound design are going to be hugely important. Editing was pretty good. I mean, as a action film in general, I thought they did a pretty good job. There's a lot of really good action scenes. As far as negatives, I think some of the negatives were fairly minor at first, and some of them you didn't even notice, you didn't even know. Things like the Ranger tattoos. I mean, it didn't seem like that. At least I was in the military. I've seen Ranger tattoos, and I've never seen anything of the style they used. But it was a small thing.
It was a way to tell people who they were.
Towards the end, and maybe if you've seen it, maybe because I haven't obviously been able to go back and watch it, or we couldn't rewind it at the theater. But I could have sworn sometime during the film they actually show his Ranger tattoo on his right arm. This is Alan Ritchson's character. And then later in the film, he has his shirt off and there is the Ranger tattoo on his back, which I thought was really weird, but I'm assuming maybe I'm misremembering. So, I mean, if anybody here watches it more recently or
Correct
actually
it.
remembers what I'm part, yeah, just let me know. But other than that, for the most part, a lot of this takes place in what 1977. They did a really good job with the costume design. However, it definitely an inordinate number of muscle cars, some really cool cars. It's like everybody's driving around in muscle cars in this movie. Most of the costumes were actually pretty good. There was a few things.
That's where I had to.
I think his wig, without it's not giving much away, but his wig, because I think it's in the trailer, could have been better when he had long hair. There's another one, we don't want to give it away because it's a spoiler, so we'll just say the effect on it was a little laughable.
Yeah, there was in fact somebody laughing.
Yes. Yeah. So, but overall, the costuming and it set the era and the mood and everything. I thought they did a pretty good job. So, what grade would you give it? Always
again,
an easy question, right?
No, because I always vacillate.
Right.
So last night I would have walked away with a C. But
I thought you would have rated it lower.
Really?
Yeah, the way you were acting, how much you didn't like it, it was like.
You know what I loved? I loved that. Okay, I'm gonna upgrade that to a C plus right now. The day after, just in thinking about it.
Okay.
So what I liked is it was very clear, and it kind of had a very old feel to the whole movie. You know, the 1977. You had like the ambiance and stuff, and if it's supposed to be in Detroit, of course you're gonna have all the muscle cars, right? So I liked that.
I think I'm going solid B.
Yeah?
This. Yeah, because I just realized after talking about it, so I was thinking C plus last night, and then I realized just how much I enjoyed the movie today, you know, as we were talking about it earlier, and I was just kind of going over things and how much I would, you know, whether I'd watch it again, and is it a movie I'd watch, how many times would I watch it again, you know, over and over, because I tend to like watching movies multiple times.
Right, not me.
The good thing is I noticed, and one of the things they said is the concept of the movie being very little dialogue means it's open. If they did their job well with the action and mannerisms and everything, then it's not beholden to a certain country, like demographic. Everyone can understand the themes of what's going on. You know, they don't have to worry about things being lost in translation because somebody said something a certain way, right? You read it and you can see bad guy, good guy, you know, anger, oh, he's pissed, you know, or whatever it may be. I mean, it's pretty obvious.
It was a little exaggerated.
A little bit,
because
right.
you have to be in order to have a non-dialogue movie like this, right?
It's like watching a play. You know, a lot of people are going to be in the nosebleeds and they need to be able to see the person on stage act out a particular way, you know, so because they can't read fine details sometimes, you know. So.
It was kind of cool to see a different perspective and how things are portrayed, and yeah, I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, but pretty good. If you're, it was a little surprising. I don't think it's a spoiler at all at this point to say that it's a movie with little to no dialogue. Just because we were surprised doesn't mean that was the intention to go in surprised. But if you're open to it and you're kind of looking and hoping to watch something that's at least a little different in your standard generic action film, yeah, you should check it out. I definitely recommend it. If you do, let us know what you thought about it. If you agreed with us, or you know, maybe you loved it more than us, maybe you hated it.
Tell them about the tattoos if you see it.
Yes, if you do see it after seeing this review, let me know if you notice the same thing with the tattoos. But otherwise, like, subscribe. So if you want to see what's coming next.
And thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks.